Today I'm going to be talking about chapter 1 in our leadership and communications book. So chapter 1 just talks about leadership and how important leadership is, and how leadership is just how it attracts universal attention. Like all back in the day, historians, philosophers, social scientists, they've attempted to understand leadership for years. Like, why do people gravitate towards leaders? What makes a leader? How does a leader do what he does? How do they make decisions? Are they good decisions? Are they bad decisions? Are leaders a good thing, a bad thing? That's what this book talks about in this chapter. Leadership is a fundamental element of a human condition. Wherever society exists, leadership exists. Any definition of leadership must account for its universal nature. Leadership seems to be linked to what it means to be human. What makes us unique as a human, our ability to create and manipulate symbols, abstract, arbitrary, and representations of reality. So leaders are within all of us. That's what this is saying. No one is just born a leader. No one becomes just a random leader. Everyone has a leader within. It's up to us in order to bring that leader out. Yes, you can be born a natural leader where it's easier for you to bring it out, and you can learn to be a leader, but everyone has the leadership quality inside of us. We're all human. Management is often equated with leadership. However, leading differs significantly from managing when it comes to creating an agenda, developing human network for achieving an agenda, or executing the agenda. While the manager is more absorbed in the status quo, the leader is more concerned with the ultimate direction of the group. So you have a manager who's in charge in making the agenda, but you have the leaders who's in charge of getting us towards those goals. There's managers and leaders. A manager doesn't have to be a leader. Sometimes there can be a bad manager, but a lot of times there are followers beneath, there are leaders beneath the manager. Most of those who study and write about leadership have focused on the more positive connotations of the concept. Recently, researchers have devoted attention to the bad or toxic side of leadership. Bad leadership is a product of selfishness, cognitive errors, external forces. Destructive leaders can be classified as incompetent, rigid, intemperate, or evil. In the organizational context, destructive leadership behaviors are directed at followers, the organization, or both. So sometimes leaders can lead you down the wrong path. Sometimes there's a rogue employee and people think this guy's the leader. They're going to start following this guy because he was able to convince them to follow his bad plan or his bad steps to bring the company down. There are many rogue leaders out there, like famous ones could have been like Hitler or Stalin. Those were bad leaders. They did bad things for the world. Leaders and followers are relational partners who play complementary roles. Leaders exert a greater degree of influence and followers have more responsibility. So leaders more in charge of influencing the follower. Follower does most of the work, yes, but a leader is able to inspire and motivate the follower, and there are a lot more followers than leaders. Leaders spend much of their time shaping messages that are then presented to a variety of followers. It is true that more leadership responsibility you have, the more your job will be focused on communication. Leaders are very vocal. They're very outgoing. They need to get their point across so the followers can do what the leader wants to do. To achieve your goals as a leader, you'll need to manage the impressions others have of you. So you can't care what your followers think of you. I mean, yes, you have to care, but if someone criticizes you, you just got to suck it up and try and fix it. But if it's part of you, then you can't let it get inside your head. Generate positive images throughout use of framing, scripting, staging, and performing. So ethical leaders use impression management to reach group objectives rather than satisfy selfish personal goals. So they put the company first, or whatever they're in charge of, whatever they are a leader of, they put that goal first instead of themselves. Beneficial impression management promotes positive interpersonal relationships and cooperation. It accurately portrays people, events, or products, and facilitates effective decision making. So, leaders, they're above the follower. The follower follows the leader. Then, in order for the followers to do what the leader wants to do, they have to communicate. They have to be vocal. They have to say what they want to say. The follower won't just do what someone has to say. They have to be inspired, and the leader is always the person that is inspiring others, the people that the followers want to look up to and follow and be like, hey, that is my leader. Effective leaders know how to utilize emotions at all organizational levels within a person, between persons, or interpersonal group, or organizational wide. To demonstrate 5 emotional competencies, 1 is perception, 2 is attending to the emotions of others. 3 is emotional facilitation of thinking. 4, understanding and analyzing emotional information. And 5, regulation of emotion. So being a leader, you have to be good with your emotions. You have to be smart. You have to know which emotion to use at which time. If someone's angry, you can't throw out an emotion. That's going to get them more upset or make them think they're stupid. It's smart to know what emotion to use when and with what person you are talking to.